Good evening. Wait, let me check my audio. Okay, I am connected to the audio. That's cool. Good evening, everyone. Happy Monday. I hope you had a great weekend. I did. A bit stressful week though, but I think things are getting better. So, welcome to our usual late night career talks. Tonight's going to be something more administrative. And I think it's also a very positive topic to talk about. It's all about compensation. It's going to be all about benefits. But this time, there's going to be a slight twist. I want to talk about non cash benefits. Okay. When I say non cash benefits, this involves anything under the sun that is outside your payroll, meaning what you receive from your ATM or your debit card that the company pours money into. So we're talking about, for example, vacation leave, insurance, allowances. It could be certifications that the company spends for. It could be trainings and conferences. It could be business trips. Anything that benefits you, makes you a better person, makes you happier, makes you feel that this is part of the perks that the company gives as part of the organization. Okay, we'll talk about those things. I'm not the only resource person here, by the way. You guys are also experts because if you've been working for the longest time, you probably have learned some tips and tricks. And I want you to share those tips and tricks as well. Okay? Type them in the chat box. Tell me, what have you learned? And again, we'll take it with a grain of salt. Not every company has the same benefits and compensation schemes. So make a disclaimer whenever you put your answers in the chat box, but we would love to learn from you. Okay, we'll talk about those things. Let's do an attendance check, by the way, before we proceed. Roxanne says, Happy Monday. Emil Dinand also says, hello. If you are also just jumping in, could you please give us a heart? We would appreciate that. Give us a like, give us an exclamation mark. And by the way, I'm going to say this as early as now. If you'd like to join our contest later on, because in the middle of the workshop of the live stream, we have a giveaway. We're going to give away tickets to our upcoming workshops at the SMX Convention Center in Fort BGC. The only thing that you need to do is to share this live stream on your feed, and you'll be eligible to join our online contest. The online contest mechanics are simple. Just answer the trivia question that I'll be asking later on. Okay? Ruven Manisha says hello from Canada. Sandra also says hello. Rolene says also mabuhay. Thank you for joining our session for tonight. Marificent. Okay, happy Monday. See you on the 9th. What's on the 9th? Toyota's on the 9th. Yes. We're going to Santa Rosa, Laguna for our quick motivational talk for Toyota Philippines. Pasign ng books. Yes. We're going to be bringing copies of our books also. So please stay tuned for that. We'll be very excited to catch you guys. Abby says, maximize HMO prior to resignation. O sige, maximize HMO ha. Basta, wag mo sadyain na magkakasakit ka para lang ma-maximize mo ang HMO. By the way, can I just share something? So, something that happened during the weekend. Unexpected, but not totally surprised. So, remember, I adopted a dog. And it's going to take a while for the new dog to get along with my other dog, who's Tanjiro. And some people say it will take months or months. So I cannot rush it. However, I started to walk them together. And last Saturday morning, I was walking them together and they got triggered by another dog. They ended up fighting against each other. And I had to be the referee in the middle. And while doing that, I was bitten by one of them. I think it's the other dog because obviously Tanjiro, I think, would never bite me. So I had a small bite here. And a part of me weirdly thought, ooh, I will be able to maximize my HMO finally because I'm going to be able to get my anti-rabies shots for free. So I did. The good thing also is that this is not my first time. I got bitten also last year by another dog. So the doctor said, you don't need to get 5 shots. You just need to get 2 booster shots. Okay, that made me slightly happy about my situation. But yeah, that's part of the hardship of being a father for a new dog. So I wish that there was a guidebook or someone who would guide me on how to make my dog get along well with Tanjiro. Because this dog is slightly older. He's like 3 to 4 years old. So he's trying to be the alpha. When the two of them are together, like inside the apartment, they don't make any fights. But when there are the obvious triggers, like for example, a few hours ago, I forgot to separate them from each other far away enough so that they were eating together, and so they ended up Asta, who's the other dog, got triggered because he thought that Tanger was trying to get his food. So, yeah. So, ayan. Don't be happy if you're claiming your HMO. It's better to have your HMO, but to never claim anything at all from that HMO. Amen. Can I get the letter A if you agree? Yes. Because it means you didn't have any need for it. It means you're healthy. It means you haven't been through any accidents as well, right? Okay. Um, the older dog is feeling jealous. Maureen says, well, Tanjiro doesn't. He does, but he's not aggressive. He's actually afraid of the older dog. So Tanjiro's 2 years old. The new dog, the one that I adopted from the streets, like literally, guys, this is from the streets. He's kind of 3 to 4 years old. I obviously don't know the age because I just adopted him, but the doctor looked at the teeth, and usually the teeth determines the age. So the doctor said likely 3 to 4 years old. So because of that, he's trying to be the alpha, and he's also the newcomer in the apartment. So he's trying to make his own position in the pack. So I'm gonna buy more time about that as well. Okay. Uh, Okay, someone here from TikTok says, may I ask something about attitude of employees? By the way, even if our topic are about non-cash benefits, you can ask anything under the sun about managing your career. So it could be about conflicts with your boss. It could be quitting your job. It could be job hunting. Could be job interview, for example. Um, Let me add this now. Someone sent me an email this morning, and I had to respond to it. And she said, John, I've been excited to join this company, but in my first 2 weeks, I am not feeling good about the people. I don't feel welcomed. I didn't even get my device on my first day, and I feel that I want to quit. Should I quit? And my answer here will always be 2 weeks is too premature. Granted, not everyone gets the best welcome. Granted, that your first day should always make an impact because it says so much about how this company values their employees. I get that. But I'm gonna say this. I've experienced so many amazing companies we're in because they're just really busy. They forgot things on day one. Is it the ideal situation? Obviously not. They should have not given that impression to a new employee. You should take the time. But I've also met companies wherein they screwed up on day one for the new employee, but they gave a better experience for the employee after a few weeks. So I sent an email. I told this person, you have to give it a month, or you have to give it 2 months or 3 months. Also, try to befriend someone in the company. That is one of the most important things that you need on your first week or first 2 weeks. Befriend someone so that every time you feel bad that the company is not treating you right, you can ask immediate questions like, is this normal? Has this also happened to you in the past? What have you done about it? How did you cope? All these things. The first 2 weeks to the first month is so critical that you will always be paranoid because you don't have any community. You don't have a set of friends. You always think that you are an outsider. So it's normal to feel bad, but I don't think it's ideal to immediately quit on your first week or 2 weeks. And again, I'm gonna call this out. You cannot. Okay, I'm. Can I just emphasize this, please? Let's be mindful that this isn't about raising a mental health card. While we acknowledge that mental health is so important, you cannot dismiss that everything in the world that makes you feel uncomfortable automatically means that it's an issue about your mental health. It's not. You're just being uncomfortable, you're just being stressed. You can probably feel some level of anxiety, but you cannot call it as being depressed because you have to be clinically labeled for that. Okay? You cannot just keep on saying that my mental health is at stake here. That's not how it works. Just because you have a label for a feeling does not mean that you should generously and loosely use that label for everything. You're not depressed, you're upset. You're not depressed, you're just irritated. You're not depressed, you're disappointed. And I often tell this to people, your Grab food or your Food Panda did not arrive. Don't say you're depressed. That's so unfair for other people who are truly clinically depressed. You're not. You're just disappointed that it didn't come on time. Be mindful with your choice of words and be mindful with labeling your feelings. Can I get an exclamation mark if we agree? Can we all be in agreement with that? This is my issue because if we all keep on saying that everything is about your mental health, it blurs the lines of what is normal and what is abnormal and what involves mental health issues now. Okay? It's important to take good care of your mental health, but you cannot label anything that just initially feels uncomfortable as a mental health issue. That's not how it works. Okay? If you're feeling warm, you probably have fever. You don't call it as having cancer. You don't call it as having an infection. You don't know yet. It's a symptom. Okay? Do not make conclusions on your own. You're not the doctor here as well. Okay? And I'm saying this because I am not a professional either, which is why if you feel anything, don't Google it. Go to professional help instead. Okay? Ooh, I like this. Josephine Teo. Hi, John. I'm just curious if Anna and Miguel, who are always the names mentioned when citing example scenarios, are real people or you just really like those names. I think they're just common names. That's it. That's why. Sometimes I use Ben, sometimes I use Ryan, but Anna and Miguel are just common names. So nothing, it has no deeper meaning. Okay. Do you have a podcast, sir? Yes, please catch us on Spotify. Podcast is called From Grit to Great. We're now on season 2. We talk about career management as well. Cody Boy says, shout out to all the Concentrix leaders who attended our You on the Rise. Thank you for having me again. I'm still getting a high. I'm still not over with my feelings because that was a very amazing session with you guys. 5,000 people on Zoom. I was disconnected twice because the chat box was just exploding. So thank you. Oh, sabi ni Boy Sungit, okay doc daw. I'm not a doctor again. And please do not exaggerate that just because I'm talking about these things, I'm pretending as if I'm the professional here. My point is, none of us are professionals. Everyone has to seek a professional rather than labeling how you feel. Okay? Girly Delanon on Facebook is asking this question. What would you do if your boss is always shouting when making a point? I would talk to my manager. I would talk to my boss one-on-one and say, boss, I understand that your feelings might not be in a good position every time X or Y goes wrong. But I also want you to know that whenever you shout, it doesn't help us or the team. We understand that something needs to be corrected, but every time you shout, it makes me feel more scared to commit mistakes. It makes me feel more scared to ask questions. And I think that's not good for the rest of the team. Is there a way that we can reach into an agreement that if you feel this way, can we say it in a more constructive manner? Or if you would permit me my 2 cents, may I suggest that if you don't feel good about the situation, we can leave the room for you so that you can calm down for a bit and we can discuss it in a more constructive manner afterwards. Ask your manager. It doesn't hurt. The worst case scenario is that your manager can be angry about it because he feels like he's being apprehended for his own actions. But if he continues to be mad for being outraged for these issues, then I think you need to revisit the relationship. I think you should revisit whether this is the company that you want to work for. Okay? Otherwise, you can shut up or forever hold your peace. Titiisin mo na lang that you're gonna have a boss like this who will keep on treating you like an animal because you're gonna be shouted at for the rest of your career. I don't think you deserve that, and I don't think anyone deserves that as well. Okay, Senorito on TikTok. Speaking of benefits here and compensation, when and how do you negotiate for a salary increase? Can it be done through a formal letter? Formal letter for me are only done by people who are passive aggressive because fine, you can document it by what, but why would you write it when you can discuss it with your manager? I would request for a one-on-one meeting with my boss. If you think that your annual evaluation or your mid-year evaluation meeting is coming up, it's a good avenue to do that. But if you think it's too far away, like for example, it's already August, you've already missed the mid-year mark, you don't need to wait for December. If you can, set a 1 hour or 30-minute meeting with your manager and talk about it. Now, what are the merits for a salary increase? Usually there are three. Okay? There are three things for here. Number one, if you think that generally across the economy and across the country, inflation has gone up ridiculously, that your salary has to catch up to the inflation. And usually if one company does this, all the other companies do the same thing. In the case of the Philippines, for example, you will notice that that happens when it's a mandatory increase in wages in Metro Manila, for example, or in Cebu, in Visayas, etc. Okay. Number two, I think you should ask for a salary increase if the work scope is no longer commensurate to what you are getting. An example of this would be two people left the team and the company refuses to hire new people because it seems like this job can now be done by you, and you've been doing so well for the past 3 months. So now you're doing the job of three people. Okay? It's also making you stay too long in the company. It's making you stressed, but you're still doing good. I think it merits a salary increase because originally this isn't what you signed up for. And you're doing well. You have all the rights to ask for a salary increase. Okay? That's two. Number three, I think you should ask for a salary increase. And this part is sometimes institutionalized in other companies. We have what we call as the merit increase, which happens every year. Merit increase is bestowed to selected employees who have gone above and beyond with their performance. Meaning, they did not only reach their sales targets, they've also accomplished a spectacular task. They've been reliable in so many projects. And so merit increase is awarded as a permanent increase. Nothing to do with inflation, nothing to do with additional job. It simply is a way of telling you that I am amazed by your quality of work. Take note also that salary increases do not automatically mean that you are getting promoted. Can I get a letter P if we're clear with that? Normally, all promotions involve a salary increase, but not all salary increases involve a promotion. I'm going to repeat. Normally, all promotions involve a salary increase because that's when not only have you increased your level of competency, you've also expanded your work scope. And for most promotions, it involves a leadership or managerial position. You're not anymore an individual contributor. You have a group of people who are also reporting to you. That's usually what happens to a promotion. A salary increase is just a technical adjustment based on what is fair and what is commensurate to the value that you bring to the company. Okay? Can I get an exclamation mark? Are we clear with that? So those three things are your usual reasons for asking for a salary increase. Do not ask for a salary increase just because you randomly need it. And I think in small companies, in companies that have really bad culture, I think a lot of people would think, boss, kailangan ko po ng pataas ng sahod kasi po nabuntis ko po ang asawa ko. That is not how merit or salary increases happen. If that were true, if that was the case, then I should have increased the rest of the other employee salaries. Okay? So when you ask for a salary increase, do not give a personal reason. Give a reason that's all about fairness and merit. Because you deserve it, because it's the only right thing to do for the company, and because you are going above and beyond what the company is asking for. Ooh, okay. Another question from LinkedIn. John, what would you do if your boss told you that she has no plan for your career, even if you were just an average performer. I have never met a boss who would say this straight to your face. Can I get a letter B if you guys agree that this is a bad boss? This is a shitty boss. I would say that now. I don't think that you should ever say that to your people. Okay? More than anything else, the ultimate role of a leader is to make more leaders out of others. More than anything else, the ultimate role of a leader is to progress your career, no matter what performance you give. If the person's a high flyer, the manager can easily progress it even further. If the employee is struggling, you don't give up on them easily. You polish them from being rough stones into a shiny diamond. And that is asking yourself, what is it with the employee's personality or competence? Or what is it with the workload and the work nature that doesn't allow her to succeed in this job? You investigate, you probe, you create a plan so that this person can get the job done. Mentoring, coaching, all of these things. Okay? So my answer to this is simple. What would you do if your boss told you that she had no plan for your career? Either one. So number one, if your boss already tells this to you straight to your face, you probably don't have an established relationship with them. I would ask this from the HR. This is something for me that is worth reporting because it's a responsibility and obligation of a manager. Now, I'm going to take it with a grain of salt. You probably are actually working for a company wherein even if you tell it to HR, the HR also will not care at all. Meaning, it is possible that you're working for a company that does not care about career progression of any of their employees. So I want you to also investigate. Try to look for one of your best friends in the company and ask them, is this normal in this company? My boss said this to me. Does your boss say the same thing to you? And if the answer is no, then that means you can rule out that your manager is an outlier. And I think you should report that to the authorities. I think you should report that to the management because you're going to be the one who will be left behind because of this. Okay? Grabe, no? You know, for me, this is a telenovela. A boss who says that she has no plans for your career. I can't imagine how will someone tell this to you. I think that person is evil to begin with, whoever will say that. Okay, Cake Malapitan on TikTok is asking, I am a team leader, but I was hired as an associate role with a much higher compensation. Is it wise? Okay, most people are concerned that their position, the label of the position, the name of the position does not imply that they have a higher role, but it is reflected by a higher salary. So I want you to remind yourself that not everyone's positions across different companies are the same. I'll give an example. When I was in Globe Telecom, I was a senior product manager. But when I went to GlaxoSmithKline, their definition of a senior product manager is the definition of a product manager. So technically speaking, it looks like from the label, I got demoted. But it's not because it's just a different definition across their companies. They have more levels to pursue. I also got a higher salary. I got a 30% bump up, even had a car plan, 100%. For example, my benefits were way, way, way better as well. Did I get demoted? Obviously not. It's just that across two companies, when you're transferring from point A to point B, it's not an apples to apples comparison. And that's how most companies are. So don't take it at heart. Don't take it personally. Okay? If your friends or relatives talk about it behind your back and say, ooh, he got demoted because his position is different now, that's on you. Why would you take something so personal when you know better deep inside your heart that that is not the real situation? Number two, you don't even need to explain. You are not obliged to explain to anyone what your situation is. Chin up. You got a better company now. You're being paid with a higher salary. You're taking on a new adventure and challenge. You should focus your energy on that, not on the position and label. Okay? Also, if an HR recruiter in the future asks you about it, you can always explain properly. And if that HR recruiter is already good, they wouldn't even bother. Why? Because they are already aware of that technicality. They are aware that not all positions labels are of the same comparison. Okay? Okay. Cesar Gonzalez, quickly, just want to answer this. High salary or passion? First and foremost, I think I can have both. But number two, if I were to choose from an employer's perspective, sorry, from an employee's perspective, will I prefer to get a higher salary or I'm passionate about the job? Hirap naman ito. Depends on my age. If I was younger, I'd go for higher salary. And the reason for that is because I'm building my nest. Over time, because I am young, I can change my perspective easily. I can learn how to love the job. But when I'm older, like when I'm in my 40s or 50s, I'd go for passion. Why? At that age, I think I've already accumulated good amount of wealth for myself, such that I don't think money is the most important thing anymore. So I'd rather have passion because passion is what will make me live longer. It's going to make me happy in my job. It's going to make me feel fulfilled. It's going to give me lesser stress and anxiety. And at the end of the day, we work so we can live because the life is the much more important element, not the job. Okay? I'd go for that. Pang Miss Universe ang question na yun ah. Okay. Kenneth Balba on Facebook is asking, how would you deal with your team that says that you are not their ideal leader as you're not bonding enough with them? Kenneth, they gave you a clue. Number one, a team will not raise this if they don't think that this is glaringly missing. So, if they told you that you're not bonding enough, try to ask yourself, what is their definition of bonding? Is it the amount of time or is it the quality of bonding? You might be giving a lot of pizza on a Friday afternoon, but after you give away the box of pizza, you don't talk to them. You don't also ask them questions. Okay? Ask what their love language is. Very important. Your love language could be giving gifts, but their love language is words of affirmation. They love it when their manager tells them, good job, amazing, I like what you did. If you're the kind of manager who feels like it's so corny to say these things, you're not matching your love language. You have to find a common ground. Okay? Don't take feedback as a bad thing. I think feedback, when it's given, is coming from a place of care. Why? The person took the time to say it to you rather than hide it, because at the back of their head, they're thinking, I want to say this because they might just change. I want to say this feedback because I think they have the potential to change and I want them to change. Versus a person who does not even talk to you anymore because they just don't care. Remember, the opposite of love is not hatred. When you hate someone, you still have a tinge of love. Why? Your hatred is a matter of irritation or sulking, nagtatampo ka, right? But if you happen to be my friend RSS, what do you think my love language is? He just messaged me now on WhatsApp. Ayan, distract tuloy ako. I think RS love language is physical gifts. Anyway, sorry. So my point is, identify the love language of your people. Do not impose your love. Remember, there are two kinds of love language: the love language of receiving, and the love language also of giving. So you have to manage both. Okay. Okay, let's go back to the, alam nyo, may question ako sa inyo. Ang ating topic, non-cash compensation. Tapos lahat ng tanong nyo, salary. Bayan. But I'm gonna answer them still. I'm just calling out that irony, okay? Gladish Murto is asking, John, when is the right time to ask for a salary increase? And how do you ask for it that it doesn't sound like demanding or imposing? Gladish, maybe you got in, you logged on late. Try to scroll a bit, like 10 or 15 minutes ago. I just answered this question. Okay? Oh, I like this question. Isa pa, sige. Lilian de Guzman is asking, okay, Gladiators and Suits. This one's a very exciting. I love these kinds of questions. How do you deal with a new colleague who does listen or accept corrections, because it was not from the big boss. And he does not take responsibilities if the problems arise outside his section, regardless if the root cause was from his section. Okay, number one, this person is new in the company, which means sometimes it's your defense mechanism that when you are new, you either react two ways. One, you're so benevolent that you follow everything because you don't want to ruffle feathers. Or number two, you don't like having to adjust to the new environment. And so you react in a very threatening way, which is, I don't care who you guys are. I'm the new person. I'm the one to watch out for. And so you guys have to be the one to adjust to me. So Lillian, it seems like this new colleague is acting that way. To the point that you're telling me they do not listen or accept corrections unless it is from the big boss. Two things. Might be too early, but my style is that I would do it as early as I can. I would do a heart-to-heart talk with this person. I will tell him the technique on giving feedback, which is, Miguel, let's say Miguel is the name of the person. I'm saying this to you not because I'm the super villain. I think you're amazing and great, and I want to welcome you in the company. I'm saying this to you because I'm saying it out of care. I'm saying this to you because I want you to be able to gel well with the team. And if you keep on doing X, Y, and Z, you will not be able to integrate yourself fully in the next few weeks. So what may I suggest is that A, B, and C. When we share with you feedback, it's coming from a place of care. It's coming from a place of we want you to easily integrate with us because we want you to be part of our family. Okay? If you want to use the word family, because I have a different debate about that, and my debate being, I don't think we should use family all the time for companies. There are bosses who use the word family wrongly, but it makes them guilt trip their people if they're not fully committed when this is not really a family. It's a company. It's a business, right? So I would do that. Number two, Lillian, if you think that this person is getting worse day by day, if I have an opportunity again, I would talk to my boss and I would raise the concern that one of the new people in the company is behaving like this and it's not being productive for the rest of the team. It's not boosting the morale, it's slowing people down, and the person is not holding themselves accountable to their own mistakes. I do something like that. Okay? Sabi ni Von Allen, sumbongero mode. You can call it that way from a Filipino perspective, but you have only two things to do. You keep it to yourself or you tell it to someone. That's it. Okay? That's it. So it's either you hold your peace and you sleep with it every night, and in your bed, you have a million things of regret. Or number two, you get it out of your system and you tell it to the person so that they can act on it. You have two options. None of them are superior to each other. Why? If you keep it to yourself, sometimes it probably is going to be better for you if you just be civil to the person. You don't mingle with them the entire time and you just get your job done. Because sometimes when you tell it to another person, it might end up exploding and it probably opens another can of Pandora's box. So you have to weigh both options. Unfortunately, the person who will know this best is you. Who is the person involved? How many allies and friends do they have? How many allies and friends do you have? Such that if ever it erupts, you have a lot of people on your side. And how is the person malleable to change if someone gives them feedback? If all of these things are not to your favor, don't confront the person. Find a way that you can still go to the office or go to your work every day and minimize your interaction with this person. That's your other route. Okay. DC is asking, what are your thoughts on the flexi work schedule? I prefer a flexi work schedule. The flexi work schedule, however, only works. I'm going to repeat. It only works if everyone has gone to the point of above average professionalism and above average trust. Meaning, walang latak sa team. And the reason for that is because the moment you're 10 in the team, 2 people are slackers, these 2 people are going to take advantage of the situation and they will infect the rest of the team. If the team is so intact, everyone can be trusted, meaning even if no one is looking, they will get the job done. Everyone is a high performer because they're after their reputation. Flexi work schedule is amazing. It's beneficial for everyone because you don't need to make people go to the office because they're going to be driven by output, not by the time. So it does work depending on your talent. Okay. Okay. Some more question here. Khalid is asking on Facebook, what if the employees come to work late before time? What if the employees come to work late before the time their salaries become deducted, or do they get it all complete? Ooh, Khalid, I don't understand the syntax of your sentence, but can I just give a comment about this? A company that deducts salary for making people go on time. Originally, I was judging these kinds of companies because I felt it was a very backward way of doing it. But I had an awakening about this. I've met small companies, especially in the provinces, wherein kahit anong incentive ang gawin mo, people still do not go to the office on time. Even if you explain to them why people have to be in the office because mahiya ka naman, your office mates are waiting for you, and it doesn't work for them, and then you make salary as the only reason for them to go to work, and then they now go to work, it works. So before I was this trainer who had an absolutist, purist point of view wherein, no, penalties will never work. You always have to drive it by positive reinforcement. You always have to drive it by incentives. The problem is, depending on how you recruited your people, there will be always certain talents wherein incentives do not work at all. They only move if they move via penalties. So in the short run, you have to use those penalties. Can I get an exclamation mark if you can relate to that? Yes? That's why it's important to manage people's motivation. If the number one motivation of this employee is financial reward, the best way to discipline them is to do it via financial reward as well. Okay. Oh, Khalid, pakiayos mo na yung sentence mo because I don't understand your syntax. I gave a comment though still about salaries and payroll. Another question. Emmanuel. Oh, Emmanuel, medyo telenovela to ha. This is a long one, but let's answer this. I proposed that I also wanted to handle the training team since I am the quality supervisor without any salary increase since the training supervisor already left the company. I think, parang natanong ko to before. I think this is a win-win situation since I saw some problems with the training and I wanted to improve that aspect, and this is my role with my previous company for 7 years. On my proposal, I just pointed out that I wanted this specific person as my workforce. Emmanuel, just want you to know, when you type something in the chat box and if it's too long, it gets cut. So can I request you, because now your sentence is cut and I will not be able to answer your question fully, you have to put it into 2 paragraphs. Paragraph 1, enter it. Paragraph 2, enter it so we can read both. Okay? I need to say that for all the other people who are typing their questions because otherwise the question becomes incomplete and I will not be able to answer your question. Okay? Nori, hi sir, is it acceptable to file a VL and you are asked who are you going to be with, where are you going, and why are you taking a vacation leave? My personal opinion here, which I think is the ideal way to grant vacation leave, it's none of your manager's business to know where you are going, period. They don't have the right nor the privilege to know what you're doing in your bedroom, where are you going, how are you spending your weekends. It's none of their business. They don't hold your lives. You're not a slave. They have to let go of it. Okay? But I'm going to flip the tables here. When we file for a vacation leave, we also have to be responsible on how we consume it. The reason why there are managers who are so paranoid about what you're going to do with it is because in their experiences in the past, they probably had employees wherein they would file for a vacation leave on a Saturday and Sunday, with the expectation that they will be back on a Monday. But no, they went to La Union, got drunk the entire weekend, irresponsibly filing for a sick leave on a Monday and on a Tuesday, knowing that they will get sick anyway because they think that it's the end of the world. I think that's just irresponsible. And I think that's the reason why I can understand why some managers are paranoid. So when we're given this privilege, your rights in the Philippines is that you have 5 service incentive leaves, and that anything is beyond that is optional given by the company. We have to also take it responsibly. Otherwise, we're not going to deserve it. Otherwise, you're conditioning your manager to be paranoid that the next time you file for a vacation leave, you will not go back anymore. Can I get another exclamation mark if we appreciate that? I posted something like this on. Can I just make a rant? I posted something like this on TikTok, and a friend of me sent me a link which I did not read anymore because I am too good not to be affected by this. I learned that there is this Reddit thread. There's a Reddit thread wherein they posted that video of me talking about how people irresponsibly use their sick leaves. And then the entire thread was so negative about people commenting that who am I to say these things? And that my sentences did not make any sense, and that Jonathan is losing his touch when it comes to giving career advice. I don't understand what they mean. I'm coming from a place of love here, and that is if you're given vacation leave, use it responsibly. Okay? If you're filing for a weekend leave, do not abandon your team on a Monday because they were expecting that you would be back on a Monday. You filed for Wednesday and Thursday and Friday as your vacation leave. And then you were continuing that to Saturday and Sunday. You had all the time. The goal is for you to be back responsibly because we need you in our teams. And here you are being sick, as if there is no more space for you to get drunk the next day. I'm also saying this because I've had these kinds of experiences with my people in the past. Sad to say that this is usually done by the younger folks, which I think is not surprising. The older you get, the more mature you are, the more you're considerate of others already also. So let's be mindful of our choices. Okay. Thoughts on possible, okay. DC, thoughts on possible mental health leave? I heard it's being discussed in the Congress. I am for it. Okay. I think we all need to take a break. As long, my only concern is how are the mechanics of it? So how many days, for example, can you file for a mental health leave? Will you need a psychological certification, for example, if it's going to be for a long period of time? I don't know what the mechanics are. So the devil is going to be in the details. But conceptually, I think we all deserve it. Okay? Because life is more stressful compared to 10 years ago. Social media makes everything more anxious compared to 10 years ago. So I think it's good to adjust. Okay. Debit Carl. Some people think that they deserve the promotion because they have more tenure, meaning they're older in the company, they've spent more years in the company. Do you agree with that? No. If you think that promotion is only based on tenure, that's a very backward way of thinking. Why? I don't care if you've been in the company for 25 years. If you still don't know how to get the job done quick, efficient, with the least amount of resources, you don't deserve to get promoted. Can I get an exclamation mark if you agree? You don't, right? It's stupid. Again, I've had another video about this. That's called ageism. Ageism is the belief that someone should get a special treatment because of their age, because they're younger or because they're older. I don't care. And again, you're in a startup company and you're using software. You've been in the company perhaps for 7 years. I don't care if you've been in the company for 7 years. If someone came in and they're only 6 months in, but they were responsible for launching a new app, they were responsible for bringing in $1 million worth of investment, that person deserves the promotion. that person deserves the merit increase, not the person who's been there for 7 years. Because for all I know, you've just been slacking. You're just cruising. You're just breathing in the office. Okay? Sad to say, and I will say this from a lot of passion because my parents are both government workers. My mom is a nurse in a public hospital. My dad is also works for a transportation company owned by the Philippine government. And this is not to say that they deserve to get promoted because I don't know how my parents compare. I don't know how they perform. But it is normal that when someone has reached 10 years, 15 years, or 20 years without proper auditing of their performance, the person gets automatically moved to a higher position. Sad to say. Which is sad. Why? What does it do? It breeds the mentality that for as long as I can hold this position, even if I'm not giving my best, I will hold on to it. I don't need to be innovative. I don't need to generate more revenues. I don't need to improve my relationships. I just need to hold on to it. 5 more years, 2 more years, I'll get another salary increase. I will get promoted as well. That's not how you want organizations to improve. And that's not how people are able to stretch themselves to the fullest. Okay, I think it's time to give away our prizes. Are you cool with that? Can I get the letter P? If you're up for our prize, we're going to give away our free tickets. Folks on TikTok, if you guys are wondering what I'm talking about, sorry, I have to change this pala kasi bago na yung date namin. johnyabot.com/talks. You can check out our schedule of workshops at the SMX Convention Center in Fort BGC in SM Aura. Folks on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, you can see it here. On my right side, you can see it here. Those are the schedules, August 25 and August 26. August 25 is our leadership workshop and social media marketing workshop. August 26 is Boost Your Confidence and Business Writing workshops. All of them are 3 hours each. So that's a total of 12 hours of learning. The winner is going to get 2 tickets for you and your plus one to attend our workshop. The ticket is worth 1,799 pesos each. So that is around 10,000 pesos worth of prizes for you. Okay? Please be mindful, the only way to win, for you to be eligible to win, is that you have to share our live stream on your news feed. So I'm going to give you a little bit of time. I'll give you a few seconds now. If you haven't done that yet, please do so, because if we do not see a label beside your name that says that you have shared this live stream, I will not be able to call you, unfortunately. Okay? And our team gets to see that label. Okay? Thank you. Have you shared? Thank you. Okay, so tonight's category is biology. Is that okay? Yes, biology. Or hindi pala biology. Herbology ba pwede nun? It's about plants. Parang herbology, di ba? Only because I'm a Harry Potter fan as well. So, herbology na lang. So, here's my question. Can I get the letter R if you guys are ready for my trivia question? Yes? Okay. Ready? So, there are many ways to answer this. You can give me a lot of examples. Okay? So, my question is this. The category of vegetables called cruciferous vegetables are known for a lot of health properties, including how they can improve your stomach, your gut health, and also for having been researched for causing a lot of anti-cancer properties. Give me an example of a cruciferous vegetable. Oy, botany pala. Sorry, sabi ni Michael. Oo nga, botany, because that's, I think, is a more general term. Herbology is going to be under botany, no? Okay, so give me an example of a cruciferous vegetable. Time starts now. 5 winners on TikTok, 2 winners on YouTube, 2 winners on Facebook, and 2 winners on LinkedIn. And Oh, yeah. I'm gonna give you a few more seconds to float it, and we can call out the winners. Ako, alam mo ginagawa ko because I have hyperacidic stomach. So what I do is I get this vegetable and then I do a shake out of it and I mix it with banana para the taste is improved. I also found out recently that meron palang mga specific extracts that you can take, like concentrated pills, para it's more efficient to take it. So, wait, sabi ni Tower Savior, sir, random question lang po, anong masarap na burger brand? Burger King for me is a good brand. In-N-Out Burger. I had an opportunity to eat that in the States. So, yung kanilang animal flavor na dressing, also good. Anyway, gabi nakapasok yung question na yun ha. Okay, the correct answers are, you can give cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, lettuce. So all of these are cruciferous vegetables. Okay. Kale also, yes, very good. So, let me call out the winners now. Pabilisan to ha. So, my winners are of Facebook muna, TikTok muna. JT Towers, congratulations. Clyde Patrick is also our second winner. Ken letter S, also correct. Exist, EXIST for 𝗬𝗀𝗀𝗃, very good. Also known as Chinese cabbage, I think. And then the fifth winner is 𝗕𝗲_𝗀𝗃. Congratulations. Your answer is also broccoli. How do you claim your prize? TikTok folks, please go to this site and please input your name and your email address, and then you will get the instructions on how to claim your prize. Registered na kayo niyan once you've inputted your name and email address. Okay? Let me call now winners on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Grabe ang dami. I have to scroll upwards. Okay. Winners are the following. Number 1, Emmanuel Garcia. Number 2, Mary Grace Francisco Julio. Next winner on YouTube, Regina Padre. Congratulations. Second winner, alam mo, lagi itong nananalo, si JD Huang. Congratulations. And then my last two winners on LinkedIn. Hala, walang LinkedIn. May winners ba tayo sa LinkedIn? Okay. Angeles Almodal III. Congratulations. And my last winner on LinkedIn is Lauren D. Congratulations. Lauren D. Now, if you have won a prize on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, how do you claim your prize? I am typing it now in the chat box. Please claim it by clicking the link. And for those on TikTok, I've already sent the link kanina. Please don't forget. That's how you claim your prize. For those who have not won any ticket but want to attend our workshops, you can do so by going to this site. That's johnyabot.com/talks. John, what if I am not in Metro Manila and I will not be able to attend your talks? That's fine. We have online courses as well available for you to take 24/7. Go to our website again, johnyabot.com, and our topics range from public speaking, business writing, leadership, mental wellness. We have one, productivity as well. So check them out in our website. Can I have an exclamation mark? Let's congratulate our winners, please. Let's do that. Congratulations. Thank you for the energy, by the way. Is it still raining ba? Parang, hindi na yata, no? Okay. So congratulations. Okay, I think we can take in 2 or 3 more questions before we wrap up the discussion for tonight. Are we cool? Sorry ha, naka 1 hour na pala ako before I gave our prizes. I was enjoying all of your questions, so thank you for the quality so far. Okay, let's answer. For those who if I have missed out your question, please cut it from the chat box and paste it again so I can easily read it. It might have been buried already from the other questions. Okay, I like this. Let's get this done quickly. Rio Agra, can you give me a sample of goal setting with a SMART pattern? Remember SMART for measuring? You have specific. Gosh, I forgot na this, guys. What is letter M nga in SMART? S is for specific. R is reasonable or real. T is timely, time bound. What is M? Check natin ah. Let's see the SMART goals. Wait. Gosh. I feel so ashamed about this because we have this in our slides. Ayan, measurable o nga naman because what can be measured can be improved. O, di ba? That's one of my favorite quotes of all time. Could you please type it in the chat box for you to remember? What can be measured can be improved. And this is why if you want to lose weight, you have to measure yourself every day. If you want to be good in basketball, you have to measure your stats on a daily basis. Okay? Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So quickly, for your career, when you say you want to improve your career, saying that you want to improve is too generic. Be specific. So you can say something like, I want to be promoted from being an associate manager to a product manager. Specific as that. You can even go further specific. You can be more granular and say something like, for all of my sales, I want to be able to achieve at least 100% sales achievement for the next 6 months. That's specific. If it's measurable, it means that it's not subjective. Someone can be able to pinpoint if you got it right or you got it wrong. I don't want to belabor the point, but another example of that, last na lang, is realistic. Realistic meaning don't set ambitions that you know is a shot to the moon. So for example, you're 22 years old and your goal is to be successful in your career. You cannot say that you're going to be a director magically in 2 years or 5 years' time. Probably it's 10 years. So scrap out that ambition, make smaller steps, and rather than saying, I want to become a director, you can probably say first, I want to be an associate director, or I want to be a group manager first. Okay? Time-bound, kasi binanggit ko na yung mga timelines. Okay? Remember, if your goal does not have a deadline, it is not a goal. It's called a hobby. Can I get the letter H if you agree with that? Dreams that happen are dreams with deadlines. Otherwise, it's just a talk. Uy, alam mo, may bala akong magnegosyo. Uy, I want to set up my own business. Ooh, I want to invest in stocks. When are you gonna do that? If you keep on talking about it, it is no different sa isang tambay sa kalye wanting things that they're not working on anyway. Okay? If your dream does not have a deadline, it is a hobby. It is not something that you will pursue. Okay? Jing Tang, thank you for the gifts, by the way. Okay, some more questions. Let's cover them. What can be measured can be improved. I so love that. Super, super love that. Okay, I'm trying to read some more comments. I'm trying to look for a question that we haven't asked yet, so it brings more value to folks. Folks on TikTok, by the way, if it's your first time to join us and you'd like to listen to our past live sessions, unfortunately, TikTok does not have it doesn't have recorded archives. But you can go to our Facebook account. You can type my name. It's a verified account, so you can easily find Jonathan Yabut. It's the only one that has that. And you can check our live or our past videos. We've had so many live streams since 2020. I will proudly say we've had more than 500 live streams now. Naalala ko pa nga ng 2021. Can I get an exclamation mark if you've been watching us in 2020 or 2021? We even had slides. I can't imagine my life now. I have to prepare for some slides because we're just so busy with, we're now back to normal. So we get to talk to clients now face to face. But I can't imagine those were rough times. I prepare slides even for a free webinar. That's how we were so passionate about engaging people online. But we'd like to thank you because we're nothing without our audience. No? So thank you also. Galawang Kaloy says on TikTok, I've applied for a higher position and I have been seconded For 9 months now, what should I do? Do good. That secondment is a test. It's a test if you can be promoted for good. It's an OIC position. It's an officer in charge position. Before they promote you, they want to first check if you can really stretch yourself. Okay? Be the most absorbent sponge in those 9 months. Iris Macaranas. Oh, I like this. Ito, budol ito ah. What are your thoughts on job description that are always indicated with duties may be assigned to, which is why we cannot complain that this is beyond our duties? I understand you cannot really itemize all of your tasks in the job description. But as long as the job description is still related to that job, meaning, for example, if it's customer service and if it involves, for example, let's say managing the database of collecting the reports for the customer complaints, you can say that that is a stretch that is still within the limits and the scope. But let's say, for example, you're doing customer service, but you're also being asked to create a marketing poster or banner for the product. That is already out of your scope, might not even be part of your skill set, which is unfair because if you fail in it, you should not be given a low score for it because it's not what you signed up for. Okay? So Iris, I've had this experience also before. Every time I sign a new contract, I am steadfast and I am very particular with the recruiter, and I will tell them I want to make sure that this is not a generic statement wherein just because this is written, the company can now impose anything else. And I'm going to say this: if the company imposes this to you and says, no, we're going to make it as vague as possible, it's a red flag. This company is not worth pursuing. This company has revealed that they have possible evil intentions in making the most out of you. I'm not gonna use the word they're gonna enslave you, pero sorry guys, budol ito. Okay? So please be mindful. Thank you for also raising that, Iris. Ooh, I like this. Oof. Ria says this. Rather than saying duties that may be assigned to, it should be instead indicated as perform other tasks that may be assigned given the proper training. I love this, Ria. Thank you for adding this. I so agree. Why? If you're gonna burden me to get the job done, and if you're gonna assess my performance, I demand that I be coached and mentored for it. That's a good way to add. Thank you. Thank you, Ria. Magamit nga yun sa mga slides ko. Diba? Okay. Daniel, this was a long one. Daniel is asking from Facebook, I am currently working as an admin assistant in an IT company, and I spent my free time in studying programming because it's my dream job, despite of not having an IT degree. Props to you, Daniel. I'm planning to ask my manager if she can give me a permission to transfer to the software engineer. Can you give me an advice on how I can ask for this permission? Okay, first and foremost, before you even engage your manager, I want you to change your mindset. At the end of the day, you should be able to decide freely what you want to do in your job. Can I get a letter A as in amen, if you agree? No one should be forcing you to do things that it's outside your volition, outside of your choice. Do what makes you happy. And I also think that you have all the rights to ask this from your manager. Now, what you're asking here is, can you give me advice on how I can ask for permission? One, you have to explain that this is out of engagement. I would love to contribute to the company, but in order for me to contribute to the fullest, in order for the company to make the most of what I can offer, I think I can be in the best position to do that if I'm also in love with what I am doing. And right now, boss, as much as I have learned so much from you, and I'm thankful for that, my heart isn't in this department. My heart is in coding. It's in IT. So I'm saying this in advance because 6 months from now or 1 year from now, okay? By the way, Daniel, I'm saying this because you just can't tell this to your boss in 1 month's time or 2 weeks' time. You have to give proper heads up, okay? You can tell them, I'm letting you know that I'd like to apply for a position in Department X. technically what you're doing is that you are resigning. It's just that you're not moving to a new company. You're moving to a new department, which is fine. Now, here's the thing. If you have an amazing company, they should not block this. They shouldn't. If you have a shitty and a bad company, I'm going to use that word, sorry. If you have a really bad company, they're going to block it. Why? They're selfish because they see you as an instrument to get things done. They do not see your career progression as equally important also. Okay? By the way, Daniel, if you have a very supportive boss, you have to give your boss a reason to also give you a recommendation letter to the other department. So if you're really applying for it, you better make sure you do well in the interview and that you have prepared well. Meaning, prior to this position, I wish that you have already involved yourself in volunteering in certain projects that involved coding. So that whenever they ask you in the interview if you have experience, you're not gonna sound like, I'm here because I want to learn. I am not gonna accept you if you're gonna use me as a stepping stone to learn something new. I want someone who can be trained but doesn't need to be trained from scratch. Okay? Can I get an exclamation mark? Are we clear with that? So good luck, Daniel. Follow your heart. I'm a big believer of this. If you're not happy with what you are doing, you have to balance it. You have your financial reasons for having to stay, but at some point, you have to find a reason to properly transition to what you want to do. Because you will not excel more than anything else. If you don't like what you're doing, you will also not be good in it. Your performance is also going to be stagnant. Okay? Oh, by the way, I forgot the name of this Facebook account, but there was this. So I love watching other folks' accounts, including entrepreneurial Facebook page. There was this one Facebook page. I don't usually comment, and I don't even comment using my own Facebook page account. There's this one video wherein there was this one entrepreneur who makes fried chicken, and maybe he did not fully mean it in a bad way, but in his message, he was saying, uh, if you want to do well in life, don't be an employee, be an entrepreneur. Don't spend your money and your time on something that will not be yours in the future. And I think he was saying it out of what he has experienced in life. And he was saying it out of a place of, I'm very passionate with what I do, and that's why I decided to become an entrepreneur. My issue, however, with this, even if it was not the intention, is that for anyone who's reading it and the person does not have critical thinking, it misleads them to think that entrepreneurs are superior to employees. Can I get an exclamation mark if you agree? It misleads them to think. It also gives a bad reputation that if you're an employee, empleyado ka lang. And I'm gonna say this. Mathematically, look at the numbers. If everyone is gonna be an entrepreneur, who's going to be an employee? Paano ka magiging negosyante kung walang magtatrabaho para sa'yo? Kasi lahat naging negosyante na rin. It's just stupid. Please remember that we both equally need each other. Just because you decided to become an entrepreneur, it doesn't make you superior to the employees. To each his or her own. Some people have an appetite for the risk. Some people don't. Some people want a predictable amount of salary per month. And that's fine. Jesus loves you for whatever you choose. And let's not mock anyone for it. I'm also saying this because I have been into, I mean, if you catch me on social media, I'm sure you've seen me do a lot of talks for a lot of other companies. It could be real estate, it could be insurance, it could be multi-level. Sometimes I'm being asked by the organizers to specifically say the benefits and the advantage of being an entrepreneur versus being an employee. And I had to decline to them. And I said, I'm not going to say that one is better than the other because we both equally need each other, right? More importantly, it's not democratically for everyone. Not everyone has the capital and the investment to create their own business. And it's not their fault if they don't have money, especially if the fate of life destined that they were born in a very humble family. It's not their fault. Yes. Can I have an exclamation mark? I'm just so passionate about that because as someone who was a former employee and now an entrepreneur, I get to see both sides of the coin. You can't just say that one is better than the other. Okay? In fact, sometimes nga, I will even say there are moments wherein it's way better to become an employee. Why? You have your peace of mind. You can sleep at night even if you're slacking off, knowing that your salary is going to be there in your payroll. Entrepreneurs don't have that mindset. Entrepreneurs on a daily basis will think, if I don't reach this amount of money by end of the month, I might not be able to pay my bills. Not everyone wants that. So why are you going to force people to become an entrepreneur? Yes? Nag-rant na ako, sorry. I'm saying it, by the way, because I had to comment that in the chat box. And I felt like, I don't want to sound like I'm antagonizing, but I feel like it had thousands and thousands of comments. I feel like some people need to know that this isn't the mentality that we should have. Okay? Okay, let's do one more question before we end. I'm going to choose one more question here. Okay. I'm going to ask this question from TikTok. Okay, TikTok question is this. Oh, sorry. Singit muna. John, can I also buy your books in Fully Booked or also in National Bookstore? You can get our copies of our books in all bookstores. Fully Booked, National Bookstore, Power Books as well. It's usually in the career section or in the business section. We got 4 books, by the way. If it's your first time to jump in, we've had 4 books so far, published first one in 2013. They're all about career management. And if you happen to have a Lazada or Shopee account, we are on a 50% sale. So go to our official Lazada or Shopee store, Jonathan Yabut. Our books are up to 50% off if you'd like to get copies. That's from August 8th to August 15th, which means it's starting tonight, 12:01 a.m. Do I have ebooks instead? Yes, we do. You can also go to our website, jonathanyabut.com/shop. And our ebooks are available if you happen to be abroad. If you are in the Middle East, our books are available in Magrudi's. If you're in Singapore and Malaysia, our books are available in Kinokuniya and MPH. If you're in Vietnam, our books are translated in Vietnamese, also available in Saigon bookstores. Okay. Oh, sabi ni Iris, thank you for that, even if it's a rant. Okay, last na. TikTok question. John. Okay, gas-gas na tong tanong na to eh. John, my force is blocking my resignation. What do I do? It's illegal for any employer to block your resignation. It's part of the Philippine Constitution. It's part of our labor laws. That's called modern slavery. Okay? So you don't ask for permission, you simply leave. The only problem is that there is a technicality na sometimes kapag gusto kang balikan ng kumpanya mo, out of not wanting to grant your resignation, they will withhold your last salary. And they will make it look like you have not yet been properly cleared. May mga ganyan. So, there are so many dole issues that happen like this, unfortunately. Okay. Okay. Sige. Let's cover this question again on TikTok. John, sige, I like this one. I think we can close the session with this question. John, in meetings, this is a question from Sarah Rain on TikTok. Wait, sorry, may tanong. Because I want to answer this. Sabi ni JG, how are your 2 dogs doing? Are they getting along? Slightly. Still not. I got bitten by the new dog and I got an anti-rabies shot because of it, because nag-away sila when I was walking them last Saturday. So it's gonna take a lot of time. So there. I was the photographer. Oh, okay. I was the photographer yesterday. Uh, I'm taking the tips. Si Mr. Lester pala, the Pinoy dog whisperer, gave me a lot of good tips. So I got the new dog a new leash to manage how to discipline him, and then really walking a lot together para they feel like they're on the same page, literally and metaphorically. Okay, last na talaga. Let's cover this. Pricey anti-rabies shot, sabi ni Jane. Good thing I have an HMO. Okay, I'll take two questions na lang ha. One is about questioning and meetings. The other one is about our topic, which is the non-cash benefits. So question is this: how do I decline someone's idea in a meeting without offending the person's feelings? Most of us, when we decline, our reaction is to use words that might offend. You can say something like, that's not good enough. Nagawa na namin yan eh. Rather than using those words, and sometimes it can hurt people's ego, try to use the radical candor formula. Radical candor is a concept by Kim Scott, and she says, you can have a sweet spot between challenging and caring. I challenge you not because I'm a bad person. I challenge you because I care for you. I challenge you because I think you can do better than this. I challenge you because I want you to improve and be better. So the formula should be appreciate the person for their effort, and then decline or challenge them afterward. So for example, if I don't like their idea or their idea is not good enough in a meeting, I'll say something like, okay, Joanna, thank you for that input. I'm going to ask first other participants if they have other ideas as well. See what I did there? Okay. Or I would say something like, Miguel, okay, I'll park your answer first. Not quite what I'm looking for. Okay. But I'm going to hold on to that. We'll go back to that later on. In the meantime, can I ask for some more ideas and suggestions from other people in the room? See what I did there? Or I could say something like, Anna, thank you for the inputs. However, this is not what we're looking for. We're particular about A, B, and C. So I appreciated her efforts. It didn't go to waste. Good thing she was able to think on her own feet, but I'm looking for something else. So when you decline like that, you're implying that I am rejecting the idea, not the identity. And the person will not take it personally. Okay? Okay, last one. Compensation question. John, why is it? This is on TikTok again. TikTok, this is from George Maru. Mr. John, grabe naman, mukha namang matanda pag Mr. John. Just call me John. John, why is it that some companies have more than 12 months of salary? In my company, we only have 13 months. I know that there are certain companies that have 15 months. It depends. It's an option that companies do. I'll give an example. I do know that Banco de Oro, BDO, has 15 months to pay. So what usually happens is your monthly salary is not the highest, but if you compute it times 15, it's actually a good amount of salary. Which is why I often tell people, when you're getting the offer sheet, when someone offers you a job, do not count the monthly salary. Count the annual salary. Can I get an exclamation mark? If you will remember that, please do. Count the annual salary and then divide it by 12. Why is that? Sometimes if you're 15 months to pay, that means 15 months times 100,000 pesos. Divided by 12, you get a prorated 12 months. Okay? You might have a high salary, but you're only 13 months pay. You might have a relatively lower salary, but it's 15 months pay. When you compare, the 15 months pay is higher. This one's giving you a better deal. Diba? Why do companies have different ones? It's just their prerogative. Some companies just do that. It could be an issue of liquidity. They don't want to give out too much cash per month. They want to even it out in 15 months. Okay? In the Philippines, it's normal to have 13th month pay. In some companies, it's more normal to have 14 months. When I was working both in a telco company and a pharmaceutical company, we had 14 months pay. So we have your Monday to January to December, but the December has an additional 13th month, and then April is the other 14th month pay. Okay? So it's a prerogative. Also, by the way, don't just count the cash, count the benefits. You have this salary, you think it's so low, but the company is giving you a car plan. How much is a car per month? 10,000, 11,000. The company is giving you free gas. How much is that? 3,000, 5,000. Monetize that. Put that into your spreadsheet and add that to your salary. Technically, if you add the cash and the non-cash, you might be better off than another company who does not give these benefits, even if they have a higher cash compensation. So you have to always remember everything, including the kind, should always be put into numbers. Another example, this company has a good cash scheme, but the insurance coverage is only for the employee. The insurance does not cover the mother and the father or the dependents. Company B, slightly lower cash per month, but the coverage is for your entire family, all of your dependents. Panalo ka dito. Because HMO is relatively more expensive, especially if your dependents, let's say, are also relatively older. So you have to compare those. You really have to put them into spreadsheets. You really have to compare them and bash them against each other. Okay? What's the brand of the shirt you're wearing? Syempre, this is your non-ironed shirt from Uniqlo. You know, I love Uniqlo kasi lahat, it's non-branded. It looks like a very normal piece of clothing. By the way, this shirt, pati white, I have like 5 of them. Because I don't want to think of what I need to wear for work. I just need to look presentable, and I'm fine. Because that's what matters more. Okay, gladiators and suits. I have to go because I also have to have to walk also my dogs. Thank you for the energy. I'll see you guys soon. Not sure if I can go online. I will try. Ayoko na mag-promise kasi I'm not always sure if I can go online eh. But I always aim for 2 to 3 live streams per week. That's what I would like to commit. And I'm so excited. I finally got a lawyer. Can I get a letter L if you guys are happy? I finally got a lawyer who I will be guesting regularly in our live stream, which means so many of your questions involving legal concerns will now be answered. And I'm telling you, this guy is not even just a lawyer. He's a contracts lawyer. He specializes in contracts. So, magpa-practice muna kami para eloquent din itong si attorney. Yeah? So, I'll catch you soon. Stay safe, stay dry, and always aspire for the better version of who you are. My favorite word is excelsior. Diba? No way but upwards. See you guys. Thank you.